Hello and welcome to Curiosity Studio. My name is Heather and I'm an artist, storyteller, and picture book enthusiast here at Curiosity to talk about Mental Health Awareness Month and our theme of connect. Week 1 of this month we talked about connecting to ourself and how important it is to ground ourselves with our emotions, where our body is in the world, and just having a sense of place within your inner landscape to be able to move on beyond that. Week 2, we talked about environment and connecting with it by noticing things, by trying to look for kind of the invisible in between sounds and sights, just to ground ourselves in a sense of place. Week 3, we talked about connecting via relationships, which is very important to us as we've realized the past number of years, more so than ever, understanding that connecting with others is paramount to our mental health. And this week, our final week, is about connecting to community, to beyond maybe our everyday immediacy, but also we're connected in a broader sense, and it impacts the lives of others, maybe people we've never even met before. So, I want to read a book to you that I love. It's called The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade, and it's written by Justin Roberts and illustrated by Christian Robinson, who I love. And it's a great way to talk about who you are as yourself and how you can connect to the broader world and how you don't have to change a lot of the world to make a lasting positive change. So, without further ado, The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade. Hardly anyone noticed young Sally McCabe. She was the smallest girl in the smallest grade. Sure, her name could be heard in the daily roll call, and she marched with her books down the same school hall, but hardly anyone noticed young Sally McCabe. And they certainly didn't know, or at least didn't mention, that Sally was paying super extra special attention. To the abandoned kite with the tangled string, to the 27 keys on the janitor's ring, to the leaves as they turned green to gold in the fall, to the time Tommy Torino was tripped in the hall. She watched as the wildflowers tipped towards the light and heard the howl of the hound dog late at night. She was there when the stray cats who normally fought conducted a meeting in the church parking lot. She saw Kevin McEwen get pushed off a slide and the oncoming tears that he wanted to hide. And she'll never forget that parent-teacher day when Billy's much larger father suddenly dragged him away. But through all the mean words and the cold stares, no one even noticed that Sally was there. And they certainly didn't know, or at least didn't mention, that Sally was paying super extra special attention. She'd seen how a whisper could make someone cower, like a bulldozer crushing through fields of wildflowers, and it kept piling up this discarded debris, those beautiful kites tangled in trees. So on February 3rd at 11:29, Sally stepped straight out of the lunchroom line. She said, "I'm tired of seeing this terrible stuff. Stop hurting each other. This is enough." Now, a few laughed, and out louder they didn't care that there was some girl with her hand in the air. But then something super extra special happened that day as Howard O. Henry suddenly set down his tray. like waves rolling in, one after another. First Molly rose up, then Michael's twin brother. It was Tyrone and Terence, then Amanda and Paul, who pushed out their chairs and stretched their arms tall. From the friendly lunch lady, with the dishes she carted, to that new third-grade teacher who'd only recently started. Yes, everyone there, even Principal Claire, had joined little Sally with their fingers in the air. And though hound dogs were destined to howl at night, and most stray cat meetings would end up in fights, and kites would continue to get stuck in trees, and they all felt, for a moment, like the janitor's keys, fastened together with a heavy steel ring that held all the secrets to unlock everything. As the world returned to the way that it was, Sally noticed the difference, as she usually does, when Billy paused briefly to open the door for Mrs. O'Connell and 17 more, or when Molly scooched over to make some space on the coral riser for Ellen and Grace. These moments that often get taken for granted, a wildflower appearing that no one had planted. The swing soon resumed their rhythm and sway, and day turned to night, and night turned to day. People remembered, and would quite often mention, that Sally had been paying super extra special attention, and how the world could transform and a change could be made by the smallest girl in the smallest grade. And that's the end of The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade. You don't have to be anyone of any sort of big anything, big energy, notoriety, stature, to make a difference in your community, in your world. And no one person can fix everything, and we know that. But sometimes it's good for your mental health to just say that out loud. Be like, you can make a difference, even if it's small, to care for yourself, your environment, your relationships, and beyond that, your community and the world. So I hope you enjoyed these stories over the last 4 weeks, and I hope to read to you again. It's wonderful to find stories, even in these little bite-sized bits. I always say, who writes children's books? It's not children. This is for adults too, so no matter who you are, your age, anything. I hope you enjoyed these and can find some stories of your own. And I hope for the rest of Mental Health Awareness Month and the time beyond that you can find ways to connect to yourself, your environment, to people around you, and to your broader world. All right. See you later. Bye.